Okay, everyone. We are going to take a small detour down another path, something that I will typically do if I can introduce another concept to you, and this is one of them. So, this really is not in your book, um, but we are going to be using some of the concepts from that chapter um, and get some practice with division and taking a look at fractions in a different way. So here is our task. I can use the cross method of division. That is something that we will talk about right here. Um, to create a mixed number fraction using the remainder. Man, there is a lot going on there. We may have to come back and revisit this to make sure that we know what we're doing. But let's first of all go to this problem right here. This was in your lesson, and we're going to just take a closer look at it. It says each shape is one whole. Write a whole number and a fraction greater than 1 for the parts that are shaded. So when we came in here, and let's go ahead and get some of the colors here that I want. We had 1 and 2 holes. All right. And that's what went right there. And that was the number of holes right there. Each hole is divided into blank equal groups. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they had 8 equal parts in each one. And that's what went right here. Then we needed the total number of parts. So let's go ahead and get this erased right in here. So then we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and so that was our total number right there. And we ended up with this fraction that we actually call an improper fraction. An improper fraction meaning the top number, right, or the numerator is greater than the bottom number, the denominator. Okay, so we did have our 16 equal parts right here. And then I told you that fraction problems are actually division problems in disguise. So if we take 16 divided by 8, that equals 2. All right. Or, looking at the color code here, we have 16. That goes on the inside here. That's the dividend. Divided by 8. Right, that's what each part had. That's the divisor. Equals 2, and that is the quotient. Or looking at it this way, we're going to take the total number of parts divided by the number of parts in one whole to find out how many total whole complete pieces that we have. Okay? So, we'll take a look at an example that I sort of made up here. Each shape is 1. All right, so what do we have here? How many holes do we have? Well, we've got 1, 2, and 3. So right here we have 3 holes. And that goes right there. Each hole is divided into blank equal parts. Well, we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So each of them are divided into 2 equal parts. And then how many total parts do we have shaded? Well, we have the 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 equal parts. And so using kind of this formula of the total number of parts divided by the number of parts in one whole, then we get this right here, this number of whole pieces that we have, 1, 2, and 3. All right, simple division. But what happens if we have a situation like this? Okay, let's take a closer look here. There are blank whole pieces. Well, I have 1, 2, and 3 whole pieces. Okay, this one's not whole. It's not shaded in yet. So there are 3 whole pieces. Each whole is divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So they're divided into 2 equal parts. Then, how many parts are shaded? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 parts that are shaded. And now we're going to add a new one. There are blank parts remaining. That's this part right here. Okay? We have 1 part that's remaining. Let's go ahead and get our 7 parts right here. So this up here is not yet done. We're going to take a look down here and take a look at something that I've referred to as the cross method, and how it is that we can name this fraction. So we're going to take 7 divided by 2. Oh my goodness. 7 divided by 2. And what I need to do is think to myself, 2 times what number is going to get me as close to 7 as possible without going over. And that number is 3. All right? So 2 times 3 equals 6. All right? So 3 times 2, that's equal to 6. I'm going to subtract and get 1 for a remainder. And then I'm going to make the fraction. I'm going to circle the whole number up here. That's 3. I'm going to come down and get my remainder. That's the 1. I'm going to come across here and grab what I divided by. That's the 2. And create the fraction 3 and 1/2, which up here is exactly what I have. I have 3 1/2 of these shapes that are filled in. 1 whole, 2 whole, 3 whole, and then 1/2. All right, let's move on and look at another example. How about this one right here? There are blank holes. So how many whole sections do I have here? I have 1 and I have 2. And that goes right here. Each whole is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. There are, forgive the bell there are blank equal parts that are shaded. So how many of these sections are shaded? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. As a matter of fact, let's just color these in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 parts are shaded in. How many parts are remaining, or how many parts are not shaded in? Well, that's 1, 2, and 3. 3 parts remaining. So, let's look at our example right up here. Let's maybe zoom out a little bit so we can still see some of the work that we've done up here. And we're going to do some changing here. All right, so let's take a look at, I think we can do this. Let's see if I can't get in here. Nope. All right, so what was our total number of parts that we had shaded? We had 9 of them. 9. And what was the total, or the divisor, the number that we had in one of the holes? That was 4. So now I need to think to myself, I need to think 4 times what number is going to get me as close as possible to 9 without going over. And that number is 2. Because 4 times 2 equals 8. So this is the number I need to look at right here. That gives me 2. Now, 2 times 4 gives me, right here, 8. 9 minus 8 gives me 1. So now I'm going to use my cross method here. Start right here, go down, over, and across. So start up here, I have 2. I'm going to go down and pick up my remainder of 1, and then come across and pick up what I was dividing by, and that is 4. So 2 1/4 is what we have represented here with a fraction that is greater than 1. So here's 1 whole, here's another 1 whole, and then we only had 1/4 filled in right here. So something to keep in mind there, just a 1 step a little bit more difficult, and just another way of looking at this and bringing in some division with some remainders. And we will work on some of those things as well. So good luck to you, and we'll be back with more math later.